Hello and welcome to the Vault. We're going to start out by turning on our tank stance and then we'll go ahead and get started. This is a little bit of a higher level dungeon, so I'm going to eat a pizza real quick. And we'll start this by attacking everything with our AoE attack. And that's all you really have to do here. Unfortunately, there's nothing else that you can do, because all of the pulls are gated here. Quite literally. We'll use a ranged attack for the first guy, and then AoE attacks for the subsequent dudes. There we go. And we'll try to pull everything toward this guy, this Vault Auditor over here. He is a ranged attacker, so we want to move and position toward the ranged attacker. This way, he is also included in all of the AoE attacks that are going off. I'll go ahead and ranged attack there, and then I will AoE attack here. I'm going to use arm's length and then move on to the next pull. And the reason I'm able to do this is because I have all of my cooldowns up. I have not needed to use them yet, and everything is dying pretty fast. So I'm going to go ahead and blow all my cooldowns here, because the next fight is a boss fight, and I don't need cooldowns for that. But I do need them for this. And as you can see, everything is dead. And it worked out very nicely. I didn't lose that much health because that's what I saved my cooldowns for, was for this particular pull. Go on. Here we go. Alright, we'll move on to the first boss fight. Really nothing to this guy. It's really just tank and spank. I mean, that's not true. It's not technically tank and spank. There is one mechanic that he does where he will, a couple of mechanics, he'll do the target here, which you don't have to worry about. You don't get targeted as a tank here, so you're fine. He'll do his dashing around the room, leaving the white orbs. Stay away from the white orbs. They go, they're going to start exploding. And using my tab button to select and attack the boss, and he's basically dead. That's all this fight is. It was weird. He stayed at 0.1% health for a little while. We have another double pull coming up here, or so I recommend. So we'll lead way out in front, and we'll pull everything together here. Just before the next room. That's where I like to stop, and I'll tell you why. So here's a couple of guys. I'm going to go ranged attack, switch my target, and then provoke. I'll go over to this next guy and use a ranged attack to get him on me. And then the other dudes are going to come from around the corner, and I'll get in front of them and AoE attack them. Now I'll bring everything back to the Deacon because he has the ranged attack here, and I'm going to use my cooldowns. I'll just use them all because there's no reason not to. There's a lot of stuff here and we won't need it again. Lost aggro on the Friar. I'll use the enemy list to target him and get him back on me. Now the reason I don't like to pull all of that into this room, and the reason I like to do this pull separate, is because these dudes can hit kind of hard, and some healers have a little bit of trouble keeping a tank alive, even using cooldowns with both these dudes wailing on the tank and also all of those pulls. So just to be safe, I do like to separate these two. Making great progress here. So these next two pulls you can do together. I recommend having at least one cooldown for these pulls. And right now I have two. I have my Reprisal, and I also have Super in case I need it. So I'm going to use my AoE, and I'll go ahead and use Reprisal here. And then as Rampart comes off of cooldown, I'm going to use that now as well.
I'll cut you to pieces!
Not too much to worry about this boss. There's a couple of AoE dodging, and you generally don't want to stay on the perimeter of this play area, the circle. There are these black holes that spawn on the circles at the edge. See, he's going to put it over there. And
I will not yield to you!
He will put it over there, don't worry. Just watch.
I have the power!
Don't stand on the black and red stuff. And I'll point him away from the group, just in case. It's a good habit to have. There he goes. So now he's going to put the black hole over on the perimeter. That's the bacon strip, by the way. And you just don't stand near those black holes. That's the fight. Super exciting. And that's it. The fight's half over. And there's nothing else to this.
Down with you!
So since we just finished a boss fight, I have all of my cooldowns, and now is a good time to use them on this next pull. We're going to have these two big knights, and we're also going to have two horses. Only 4 dudes, but they do hit kind of hard. I'm going to use arm's length here just so they don't continue to wail on me as I get to these horses here. But now that we have everything, I'll go ahead and use all my cooldowns. Oh, that's... I actually don't mind using the ultimate there. I could keep them positioned right. I'm sorry, the limit break, not the ultimate. So as you can see, these have a lot of health. They're not dead yet, and my cooldowns are worn off. So I'm going to start taking a lot more damage here, but it's okay because everything's dying. Now, perfect timing. Excellent. This next pull is another one that you can go ahead and train. It's not a big deal. These have very low health, and they all die pretty quickly. I have a couple of cooldowns to work with here as well, so I'll use those. But overall, I'm not too worried about these. See? They're dead. And then the priest is going to spawn the 4 gargoyles. You don't need to use any cooldowns for those. They all die pretty quickly. And just in case you're wondering, no, there's no way to stop this summon. It's part of the dungeon. And we'll go ranged attack, provoke, ranged attack, and then my off cooldown single target ability, which for Gunbreaker is Danger Zone, and that gets aggro on everything very easily, and then I'm free to use my AoE abilities here. And that's it. We're at the last boss. Been here 10 minutes. It's been a pretty good dungeon. Again, as your responsibility as the tank is to look behind you before you start the final boss to ensure no one is watching a cutscene.
Filthy rats!
You don't want to engage, and all of a sudden your healer is watching the cutscene. And then you die, and then you're like, oh, why didn't you wait? Well, you gotta check. It's a good habit to get into. Just turn around.
Be gone with you!
So as you can see, the chains happened here. They skip you because you're the tank. You will never get chained in this fight. Only the DPS get chained. The horses will... well, we're killing them really fast, but the horses spawn and then they march across the map or across the play area. So all you gotta do is not stand in the way. It really does not matter what order you kill these in. You just kill them.
This shall be a mercy.
That was phase 2, and phase 3 is to combine all of the different mechanics that we've seen so far, which is the horses marching, which we've technically not seen because we killed this guy so fast, the AoEs on the ground, and the chains. We'll point this guy away toward the back, so just as a good habit. I don't think he has any sort of cone AoE attacks, but it's just a good habit to get into. So here we go, we start dodging now. Just lots of dodging. As you can see, the chains did not target me because tanks get skipped for most mechanics. You want to use cooldowns here, you can, but I don't really think there's a point. Fight's over. I shot myself at the end. That is the vault. It's a pretty fast dungeon. It's really easy. You don't really have to worry about too much in that dungeon. Just a couple of areas where you have to pull. And look, I got a few commendations out of there. Would you like to buy a vowel? Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the video helpful and useful. If you did not, I'm sorry. Maybe you could check out a different video on my channel. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. We'll see you in the next video. Bye!